Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. So, aside from the buzz cut and the new glasses, I've had another change this week. So, if you remember in the video last week, I was telling you about the trouble I was having with my tummy, and I did a bit of thinking about it, and it occurred to me that when I started taking metformin, and it was only about 3 months ago, it was only start of the year really, once my 12 months on the path remission program expired, that I actually started taking metformin. And I never really spent any time on the full dose, so the two in the morning of 500 and two in the evening of 500. And I started thinking about it. I never went through any side effects when I was doing 500 and 1,000, so one in the morning, and then one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. And then even when I stepped to 1,500, I didn't really have any problems. And it sort of coincided, the fact that I started going back on the shakes with the fact I was doing 2,000 milligrams of metformin. And that's when it really started to go wrong with my tummy. And I don't know whether it was coincidence or whether it was to do with the shakes, or I'm thinking my body, the cumulative effect of upping the dose of metformin basically really did a number on my gut. And I've done some research. I didn't really know, excuse me, one of the side effects. I didn't really know what metformin did. And from what I understand, is it, I'm not a doctor, I'm not medically trained at all. Use what I'm saying with the biggest pinch of salt you can find. But from what I understand, for people with type 2 diabetes, it helps your body basically increase your insulin sensitivity. So it's not producing insulin, but it's helping your body basically reduce or
A few moments later.
reduces liver glucose production. So metformin decreases the amount of sugar the liver releases into the bloodstream, improves insulin sensitivity, so it makes muscle cells more sensitive to insulin, allowing the body to use glucose for energy better. It decreases intestinal absorption, so it reduces the amount of glucose absorbed from the food in the gastrointestinal tract, and it lowers your HbA1c. See? Suddenly become an expert on that. Anyway, long story short, for me, I'd never been up to that dose for. I mean, even when I was before I was on the path to remission, I was only ever on 1,000. So this was something new to me, and apparently metformin basically works, and it builds up in the intestinal lining, and it changes the like the like the biome, the bacteria, or it makes changes to the levels of bacteria in your stomach, so it makes you bloated. And I don't know if you remember from a few videos before, I was sort of joking myself that I was going every so often, as I'm about to do it now. And I suspect that was all because of the metformin. Now, I have read anecdotally that some brands of metformin, yes, I know metformin is a drug, but it's made by companies, and some brands have potentially different side effects to others. Now, I don't know whether that's true or whether that's just people trolling on the internet, but I suspect that when I was on metformin before I did the path remission program, I wasn't getting any of these side effects. And when I started stepping it up and to the higher dosage, that's when I've had problems. And as it's a cumulative drug in your body up to a point, it will be making it my side effects worse and worse and worse. So when I ended the video last week, I said I was going to seek medical advice, and I would suggest you do too, because I have moved from the 500 milligrams, so 4 of these, and today, so literally this afternoon, I have just picked up my slow release. So I'm now on something called Rudimet. Rudimet prolonged release tablets. And they are 1,000 milligrams, so I've been told to take 2 in the night before I go to bed. So after eating, or with or after eating. So I've taken the last metformin today or this morning, and then tonight, after it's going to be a decent 12 hours, I'm going to crack on with these. Then I'm going to give it 24, 48 hours to see how my tummy adjusts. And then, today's Friday the 17th. Happy birthday, Dad. I will be back on the shakes once my tummy has sorted itself out. And I really hope this is the answer, because I don't want to start trying different medications or alternatives to metformin. Part of me thought, you know what? I worked fine on 1,000, I worked fine on 1,500. When I was on the Path to Remission program and I was taking the shakes, I wasn't doing any metformin at all. So, yeah, I could get away with it. But as you know, this is a responsible channel. I want to be responsible, so I'm doing things that my GP is telling me. I'm not going rogue, and I strongly suggest if you're planning on doing this by yourself, you do it with the full support of your doctor as well. So, that's where I am with that. So, hopefully, on the video next week, I'll have a bit of an update that I'm back on the shakes and I am feeling great. And if not, then yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I guess I'm going to have to go back to the GP and say, look, can I do this diet without being on metformin, or is there an alternative you can suggest for me? I don't really want to be mucking around, to be honest. I just wanted to crack on and start losing weight. Oh, again, for fellow diabetics, I've had my a urine test done, so my regular kidney check, and that has come back with... he checks his phone again. He's obviously well prepared. There we go. It's something called a urine albumin creatine ratio of 1.2, which puts me in the category A1, which is normal. And why is this important? When you take metformin, particularly over a long time, it can have negative effects on your kidneys. So the GP will be getting you to check periodically just to make sure your kidney function isn't impaired. So fortunately, I'm good. So I live to fight another day with that. I have some blood tests coming up. So no doubt the GP will say that I need to take care of myself better, but what doctor doesn't? Anyway, I hope you're all doing well, and you take care, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye for now.